Hello everyone, my name is Alana. Welcome to my channel. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like. Up, considering what the CBS program parent series The Big Bang Theory had already established. Young Sheldon Season 6's scientific grants database improvements made an unexpectedly depressing plot conceivable. To do this, it used the ideal approach. Sheldon's mother, Mary, and siblings, Missy and Georgie, all had numerous cameo appearances on The Big Bang Theory from seasons 1 to 12, introducing many of his close relatives. Despite the fact that Sheldon's father was frequently only mentioned in passing, it became evident that he had left a bad effect on Sheldon, who frequently referred to George Cooper as a useless father in The Big Bang Theory. Sheldon, young beginning with Sheldon at age 9, ensured that the Big Bang Theory prequel would have to depict some of the most significant and sad moments in his life. George's infidelity scandal, which was previously only mentioned by Sheldon, would be revealed in young Sheldon, along with his tragic death a year later. In The Hot Tub Contamination, episode 5 of season 10 of The Big Bang Theory, he told Penny all of this. But because it's uncertain when the awful events will occur, viewers must wait to see them on TV. This, in turn, made one seemingly unimportant storyline in young Sheldon Season 6 far more depressing than they should have been. It is clear that Sheldon will face challenges he has never really encountered before, given that he will not only have to witness his father cheat on his mother, but also George's untimely death without first discussing it with him. But since young Sheldon's viewers were aware of George's deeds and passing before the series debuted, they were always considered the major tragedy to be anticipated. Because the scientific grants database notion upset the boy, which the viewer couldn't have predicted, George's death was all the more tragic in light of young Sheldon Season 6. Sheldon came to the realization that others around him were more concerned with the financial gain than with the potential scientific advancement of his proposal. He essentially lost his innocence as a result. The database changes in young Sheldon Season 6, Episode 9 made him more like Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory, a more cynical protagonist who frequently uses contracts to resolve disputes amicably and lacks faith in other people. With past known tragedies in mind, viewers wouldn't have expected such an incident to initiate Sheldon's change. Therefore, the unexpectedly significant impact that the database idea's ramifications had on Sheldon turned out to be young Sheldon Season 6's ideal trick. The time of George's affair and eventual demise is drawing near, as young Sheldon Season 6's nearly teenage Sheldon approaches the age of 12. Because of this, any tale could start that series of events or take a different turn. Young Sheldon has never been less predictable. Although Sheldon and his family may have been affected by George's health issues, viewers were aware that his death was not possible at that time, which lessened the effect of the plot. As they set up The Big Bang Theory's Sheldon, young Sheldon Season 6's timeline, which brings George's deeds and death closer together, makes for a better TV program and offers captivating plot shocks that feel fresh, unique, and spectacular. Get ready to have your mind blown, because young Sheldon Season 6 has just dropped the most unexpected twist that will have you rethinking everything you thought you knew about this beloved show. If you thought young Sheldon was all about Sheldon Cooper's quirky childhood and awkward moments with his family, you are in for a roller coaster of emotions. Season 6 has just revealed a tragic twist that will have you questioning the entire premise of the show, and it might just be the most brilliant trick the series has ever pulled off. Hold on to your seats, because this jaw-dropping moment is about to change everything you thought you knew about Sheldon and the Cooper family. In this article, we'll break down this perfect show trick that took young Sheldon to a whole new level. Not only does this plot development hit fans with an emotional punch, but it also ties into the larger Big Bang Theory universe in ways that will leave you speechless. From the very beginning of young Sheldon, we've been following Sheldon's journey as a child prodigy, navigating life in Texas with his quirky family. But Season 6 has taken a dark and unexpected turn, pushing the show into new emotional territory. Young Sheldon has always managed to mix humor with moments of genuine heart, but this season, it hits us where it hurts. In the latest episodes, the show dives deep into the struggles of Sheldon's family, especially his father, George Cooper Sr., as we know from The Big Bang Theory. George Sr. eventually passes away, a tragic event that leaves a lasting impact on Sheldon's life. But in Season 6, the writers have decided to show us a glimpse of this future loss much earlier than expected, and the impact it has on Sheldon's emotional journey is profound. Here's the trick that young Sheldon pulls off flawlessly. The show doesn't just drop the tragic twist on us out of nowhere. Instead, it plants the seeds early on, weaving small, seemingly insignificant details throughout the season that gradually build up to the heartbreaking moment. You'll realize that young Sheldon has been hinting at this moment since the very beginning, and it's all the more powerful because of how cleverly it was executed. George Cooper Sr.'s health struggles. Throughout Season 6, George Sr. begins to show signs of physical deterioration. He starts having trouble keeping up with the demands of his job, and even becomes increasingly irritable with his family. Fans who are familiar with The Big Bang Theory might recognize these signs as foreshadowing. But what's truly remarkable about this twist is how subtly the show builds tension around George Sr.'s health. At first, it's easy to dismiss his fatigue as just a minor plot point, but in hindsight, it becomes clear that young Sheldon was setting us up for a much bigger emotional gut punch. Sheldon's subconscious understanding of loss. In what might be one of the most brilliant narrative moves, the show begins to subtly hint at Sheldon's deep fear of losing his father. Throughout the season, Sheldon starts making offhand comments about how he can't imagine a world without his father's constant presence. This seems innocuous at first, but by the time the twist hits, these comments take on a whole new meaning. Sheldon's emotional growth as a young boy, while focusing on his academic achievements, has always been shadowed by an underlying sense of fragility when it comes to his family. Season 6 turns this weakness into a powerful character study. The build-up to the moment. In the final few episodes of Season 6, we see George Sr. getting worse. He becomes increasingly absent from family events, and his relationship with Sheldon starts to deteriorate, with Sheldon noticing his father's sudden lapses in memory and energy. The show lures us into a false sense of security. Things seem okay, maybe a bit rough, but nothing too bad. And then, out of nowhere, the moment hits. One day, George Sr. is gone. In a stunning emotional sequence, George Sr. suffers a sudden heart attack, leaving the Cooper family in complete shock. The tragedy strikes just as Sheldon is beginning to understand what it means to lose someone close to him. The twist is all the more gut-wrenching because of the way young Sheldon has carefully crafted George Sr.'s character over the course of the show. While not always perfect, George Sr. has always been a dedicated father, a hard-working man who loved his family in his own way. The moment of his passing is a complete gut punch, not just because we know what's to come in The Big Bang Theory, but because of the emotional weight that this event carries for Sheldon, his mother Mary, and his twin sister Missy. Watching Sheldon, who's often more concerned with his academic pursuits than with his emotional life, process his father's death is one of the most powerful moments of the entire series. As heartbreaking as it is, this tragic twist serves a much larger purpose in the context of the Big Bang Theory universe. George Sr.'s sudden passing serves as a major catalyst for Sheldon's emotional and intellectual growth. In The Big Bang Theory, Sheldon is often portrayed as emotionally distant and socially awkward. But this event in young Sheldon explains a lot about why Sheldon struggles with emotional connections as an adult. Sheldon's grief. Big Bang Theory fans may recall that Sheldon doesn't talk much about his father's death. The loss of George Sr. deeply affects Sheldon, but his coping mechanisms often manifest as humor or detached intellectualism. This tragic twist in young Sheldon shows the origins of Sheldon's inability to process emotions in a typical way. The grief he experiences in Season 6, though he doesn't fully understand it at the time, will shape the adult Sheldon we know in The Big Bang Theory. The Cooper family dynamic. Fans of Big Bang Theory know that Sheldon's relationship with his mother, Mary, is complicated but also foundational to his character. The emotional fallout from George Sr.'s death will likely shape Mary's relationship with Sheldon in ways we'll see play out in both series. We also begin to understand more deeply why Sheldon has such a protective bond with his twin sister, Missy. Their shared grief will create a stronger connection between them, even if they don't always express it outwardly. Sheldon's path to emotional intelligence. One of the key aspects of Sheldon's character in The Big Bang Theory is his gradual evolution toward emotional intelligence, particularly in his relationships with people like Leonard, Penny, and Amy. Season 6 of Young Sheldon shows us the very first steps in Sheldon's emotional awakening. Losing his father and witnessing the reactions of those around him plants the seed for the more empathetic Sheldon we see in Big Bang Theory. This moment of loss will shape his future interactions with others, especially as he learns to deal with grief in his own peculiar way. The brilliance of this twist lies in how young Sheldon manipulates audience expectations. The show has always been about Sheldon's quirky genius, but Season 6 introduces a layer of complexity that we didn't see coming. By showing us the early signs of Sheldon's emotional growth, the writers have made this tragic twist feel both inevitable and surprising. Not only does this twist pay off in an emotional sense, but it also adds a layer of depth to the larger Big Bang Theory narrative. It forces us to rethink Sheldon's character in a new light, as we see the young boy struggling to understand a tragedy that will shape his future in profound ways. Season 6 of Young Sheldon has redefined the show, taking it to emotional and narrative heights that we never expected. The tragic passing of George Sr. is not just a plot point, it's a turning point in Sheldon's life, one that will resonate throughout both Young Sheldon and The Big Bang Theory. This twist reveals a perfectly executed show trick, one that is both heartbreaking and brilliant, leaving us with a deeper understanding of the Cooper family and the emotional journey of one of TV's most iconic characters. So what's next for Sheldon Cooper and his family? Stay tuned, because if this twist was any indication, we're in for a lot more surprises and tears in the seasons to come. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and stay with us.